are still many that are behind the scenes, that are locked away, that they're the most vulnerable. Right? At the same time, these are the people that you're trying to provide services for. And believe me, you all talked about accessibility, you talked about the building code, some of you talked about policies, some of you talked about government's obligations. And I guess this is important, that on the pathway forward from here, that all what you've been talking about is embedded in the CBR matrix. You all spoke of the 5 pillars of the CBR matrix. Whether you're talking about the different articles, it is in one form, mean or the other, right? Earmarked or aligned to the 5 pillars of the CBR. And the important that kept coming up from both groups is that you are empowering. And in the CBR matrix, empowerment more or less is like a standalone or is a result of the other 4 pillars. And Maria's case, as Maria mentioned yesterday in our meeting, is that some look at it as that empowerment has to be the baseline, or has to be the foundation to ensure that you can achieve the others.
Through my experience, for me, when I see any building and it's not accessible, for me, I'm not welcome to that building. And that's accessible to me. Oh, I think this building, these people don't want me, so I'm not accessible to you, I'm not welcome here. If we are not accessible to those kind of places, and we will not be accessible to the kind of information that is discussed in there.
This is our legs. We are able to move around. I'm able to come in here because I've got this to move, to leave my home, to use that footpath that's been made because of this device. And if this wasn't there, I think I'd be just staying at home. And if someone came around to teach me about my rights, I would be knowing that I'm supposed to be participating, but I won't be able to participate because I don't have this to get me out there to be able to participate. A lot of education needs to be done out there. Awareness, whatever it is, it's education for us, everybody to be educated, from the government and from us individuals, so that we can work and make those changes happen.
Lithia is very good in terms of, as far as for advocacy and awareness in terms of disability, because without the support, the deterioration, and I use the example of what Lithia has always exercised to give just a touch of what disability means. If you're right-handed, and if you try and write your name with your right hand, it'll be clear. And then you move on to your left hand, it starts to deteriorate. Now, and then if you use your feet, and then if you use your mouth to bite the pen and write, without the support, that it's similar. Right? By the time you use your mouth to try and write your name, nobody can read it.
Most of us, when we heard accessibility, we've got ramps. From here, we had accessibility in information, like when one of our members was deaf, when he tried to lodge a complaint in a police station, if how can she or he lodge a complaint if anyone from the station who did not know how to do sign language? So that is also accessible in information. And for our visually impaired, there should be a large print, and also transport. To have accessible bus, that will be much better, because if we have accessible bus, and there would be a less expense of travel through taxis. Sometimes I stay in the William, which takes me $17 one way from there to my workplace, then $17 back. But we have an accessible bus, it will be much cheaper, $1.65 from there, $1.65 back. I'm sorry to say this, but in our own Fiji Parliament, it's not accessible. For whenever I go there, the police have to lift me up. It's about many steps, 30 steps. So I have to lift me up from the first step to the last one. Why? Because it's not accessible.
All these different stakeholders, they can work better if there's many. But when these many come together as one for the same cause, you become stronger, right, and more proactive. Article 3 is the measuring tool of that. Right? So if anywhere you go, and if you're a government official, if you're a medical person, if you're writing a policy, or if you're sitting down and you're looking at people and you're providing a support mechanism for them, ask yourselves, the 8 principles of the UNCRPD? Is it compliant? Because I can tell you that way you become an ally.
There needs to be changes done, and we can't just do it ourselves. We need the support of the community and mostly our government, because the law is in their hands, so that infrastructure can be changed, and the building codes, there need to be changes to include persons with disabilities.
I've been through the systems. For those of you that work in rehab, I take my hat off to all you guys. And for those of you in the ministry that work in this sector, it's because you can at least understand when I say, as a service provider, when you see the satisfaction and you see the smile, especially on a child's face, makes it all worthwhile. It makes that effort, and I can tell you, it is priceless. It is priceless when you know that you've made a change in a person's life. I'm not asking you to change the world. I'm asking you to make a change in just one person's life.